the lowest level of competitive cycling, which is pretty much what I was participating in the criterium race up in Valencia, to what goes on in Europe at the highest professional level. It would be kind of like comparing the Ewok village in Return of the Jedi to Luke Skywalker trying to blow up the Death Star in Star Wars. That's kind of what professional bike racing is at the highest level. So why don't we go to Paris-Roubaix, which is one of the biggest one-day classics in the world, and see what happens when there's a lot of money and prestige on the line, and the most freakish-looking and talented and fit athletes in the world go head-to-head on cobblestones. The Hell of the North, Paris-Roubaix, is one of the toughest one-day classic bike races in the world. It pits the world's top road racers against each other in a test that lasts more than 6 hours and covers dozens of miles of cobblestone roads.
So I'm somewhere in northern France and about to go ride some of the pave sections that are in Paris-Roubaix. We're here with Specialized Bicycles, gonna ride some special bikes. I went to the race a few days ahead of time with a group of journalists from all over the world to ride a new Specialized bike called the Roubaix. Well, it's a nice, smooth carbon fiber ride, but that didn't do much to dampen the effects of the cobblestones on my bottom. After 3 punishing hours, which felt like about 8 hours on a rigid mountain bike off-road, it was time for some R&R. So we all headed back to the hotel to have a few cocktails and reflect on what it was that was so fun about riding bikes out here in these torturous conditions. What did you learn from riding the pave? What was it? Describe your pave experience.
It was a blast.
What was the blast about it?
The challenge it must be to A, go fast, to B, go with hundreds of other people who are shoving you out of the way, not getting to choose your line, not getting to find the smoothest part. Imagine if you're like in that horrible section on the side with those cobblestones sticking up, and that's all you got. And then you got to make do with that, and how painful it is, and that for God knows how many kilometers, 8 hours. It gave me much more respect for the race.
On race day, we got up early, piled into a car, and headed out to the cobbles to catch the action firsthand. So we're at the 2005 Paris-Roubaix. We're at a hotel in Chantilly, and we're getting ready to head out on the course and check out some of the pave sectors. So behind me, we've got the Saunier Duval follow car. As you can see, it's loaded up with a lot of Scott CR1 bikes on top, in case anyone gets a puncture or breaks their frame on the pave today. These look like mighty stiff bikes. Some guys are going to have some sore bumps tonight. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think behind me we have the European equivalent of Shriners. Going to a pro bike race is like going to a state fair that's happening in the parking lot of a football stadium during the Super Bowl. It just smells a little bit better. If you're a bike fan, this is like being at the Spearmint Rhino with jenna Jameson sitting in your lap. There are a whole lot of cool bikes here right now. All the teams are rolling in with their team cars, and they've got all the super heavyweight kit on top. Is this one of your favorite races?
I like this race.
What do you like about it?
I mean, it's about the character of this race. I like the cobblestones. If I have good legs, it's good. I like it.
So right behind me, the race we're waiting for the stroke of 11, and they're going to be off. Looks like we're about ready to go. So now we're here on the first pave section. You can see the dust rising from the cobbles, not very pleasant conditions. My, it's quite exciting. They're about to arrive. A lead group that was 8 minutes in front of the pack came by first, and they were flying. I've barely been able to hit 25 on this road during our ride, and these guys were going 35 in a dust cloud so thick that they couldn't see. A few seconds later, I saw just how tough these guys are when a giant mud puddle took out a chunk of the pack. Whoa. So as you can see, things can get hairy real fast here at Paris-Roubaix. Injury is a constant threat in any pro bike race. This CSC rider got a ride home early in an ambulance with a broken collarbone. How's the road look, Roy?
This is we rate this a 6.5 cobble factor. With we position ourselves for maximum blood, guts, and possible wipeouts. You know what? In the European tradition, you try to hem them in and make them run the gauntlet. That's what it's all about. I mean, this looks like sabotage right here. Look at that. That's grease.
Yeah, it looks like grease, doesn't it?
Pretty fresh. Look at that.
You think that this is a ploy by the French?
Are French in the lead right now, or the French must be way behind like usual?
Looks like we got an early breakaway. He's got his domestique on the pegs. So the peloton's about to come by again. We saw some early breakaways there. One man on foot, several on mountain bikes with no helmets. Here come the big boys. Let's get ready to party. Allez! Go, George! So now we're in the car and we're going to drive on to the finish at the velodrome. But it's interesting to note that it took us as long to drive today to get to all these sections of pave as it took the riders to ride it. And they look like they hurt pretty bad. Didn't you think?
Yes, our butts are not as sore as theirs.
Our butts are not as sore as theirs, indeed. So now we're here at the Roubaix Velodrome. We're in the press room. Behind me you can see all the journalists from around the world who've come here to cover the race are sitting around smoking cigarettes and typing on laptops. So now I'm here inside the velodrome. You see there are a lot of very excited fans watching. Momentarily, Tom Boone and George Hincapie and Juan Antonio Fletcher are going to be cruising through from right over there. Here they come. Then they've got a lap on the velodrome and we'll have a new winner. I'm sure the people up here in northern France would like to see Tom Boone win, but maybe George will pull one out here at the end of his career. Well, there you have it. Boone takes the cake. George takes second. He just didn't have it in the sprint, but it was pretty damn exciting watching him come in here. Very, very cool. Now, in this particular camper, we have the doping control, where riders will be going to urinate and have their blood drawn post-race, which must be a real joy after 6 hours in the saddle getting jackhammered on cobblestone. Right now, we have the winner in there, Tom Boone, and also George Hincapie. The media is eagerly awaiting the results of their urine tests.
The back set was on 15 minutes.
Be back next year?
If I'm still riding next year, for sure I'm back.